now moment, but
you know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Made something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go star season to go and you know those crystal truth. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the ropes. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.
welcome to Ascending Beyond Limitations. You're a sovereign being having a earthly encounter with everything that is and is not. Sitting at the center of your consciousness and all that is and is not. Taking on knowing thyself from the inside, inward out. Knowing that it's okay with your physical eyes to see the world, to take it in, to have a judgment about it, then seek the discernment of it, because once you make a judgment of if you like it or you don't like it, if it feels good or don't feel good, you're mapping out with your discernment where you want to go from there. How much of yourself do you want to dive into? Where's my road map? Where's my yellow brick road? Where's my compass? Where's my GPS? You have to dive into it. I know it's unknown and it's scary, but that's okay. We were meant to dive in to the scary, to the unknown. That's the only way to bring the recall of it and make it known again. Welcome, Marcus. Are you ready?
Thank you. Welcome to everybody to another episode of Ascending Beyond Limitations. Ukata ishiana tutusata imianata shiata ukatayana sulukutata ishiana tayata. Celebrate. Allow joy to flow through you. Embrace the loving beauty, the gift. Cherish this space, cherish this episode. Be present with the love and the upliftment and the beauty that is going to be flowing through this space today. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 43 of Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Raw Material Law of One study. And I'm going to venture us back in time a little bit to last Wednesday, where we had episode 42. Just to give you guys a recap of where we're picking up for episode 43 in book 3 of the Raw Material.
Season to go in. Back up in the
It's very easy for us, being in these bodysuits, to be constantly only looking out at the world and think about only the outside world, and then forget that we have this bodysuit to keep the maintenance on. And the more that we just continue to honor what this bodysuit is telling us, because it is conscious, it is programmed with the divine consciousness within it.
Only just created to be our GPS. When something does not feel right to you, or when something feels wrong to you, and you want to get to a vibrational place where it feels right to you, that's your GPS on how you're going to move, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're going to let go of, what you're going to surrender. That's
expectations. They really get us in this human life. But there's so much power in divinity by allowing things to be what is, and then putting action into what is, and continuing to.
The book, The Divine Design. Intention plus energy equals manifestation. The divine did it with all the creation of everything that it created to see itself.
So that was episode 42 last week on Wednesday. And as where we left off, now we are going to pick up episode 43. Back to you, Sandee.
Episode 43. When Marcus and I started this wonderful collaboration, I don't think we had a glimpse into episode 43 future, but here we are. Gifted through the divine and the raw divine as well. We are rawness. We are like a diamond in the rough. We are embracing a star within us that's trying to shine through to show our brilliance. Not one being better than the other, just ready to shine. We are a star in the making. Whether you are just zero coming into the world, or whether you're 100, we were meant to shine. So before we start with Raw, the divine took me to Acts of Consciousness. It's a channeled book as well. It's Adamus Saint Germain, and they are channeling through Jeffrey and Linda Hopp, HOPP. If you want to go get this book, fine. We're not telling you to go get the book. The divine is just sharing some information. It says, consciousness is awareness. And then the divine wants me to add in there your consciousness. You don't just have a consciousness, you are consciousness. And consciousness is aware. And if consciousness is aware and you are awareness, you have the opportunity to create whatever your story is. It says, it is not thought, and there's not one of the stumbling blocks in understanding it. Even those who are studying consciousness on a more academic level right now tend to equate the intelligence and the thought, and it has nothing to do with that. It's not just our thought. We have the ability to think, but we're not thought. We're consciousness. Consciousness has the ability to think. When we came into this duality, it took on physicality. The physical, it took on the abyss. Oh, I'm so excited. I got to slow my roll. Oh, it took on the ability to think, to share a thought, to have the ability to move up and down the polarity vibration and choose a thought. Feel it, see it, expand in it, decide when it's done, and then go to another one. It says, when they begin to comprehend the difference between consciousness and thought, they'll start making some quantum leaps in understanding. When you make that quantum leap from you being a thought to you being a consciousness having a thought, the divine says, you'll take a quantum leap. And understand that a quantum energy is just there or provided for us so that we can have intent and energy and then create. It's waiting for our command. It's waiting for us to shift and evolve. It wants you to know, and then I jump down to the last paragraph on that page, or it begins. It says 26% of all matter in the universe is considered dark matter. That's based on our verbiage, our label. In other words, we can't define it. Scientists can't define it. They don't know what it is, and they don't understand what's going on. Roughly 68% of all known energy is dark energy. It's waiting to be defined by you. It's waiting to be created by you or by us all. It can be measured, or it can't be measured or quantified by science. So it's just thrown into a mysterious bucket called dark energy. In other words, the 95% of energy and matter is mystery. Are you ready to take yourself on a mystery? I know I'm ready. So here we go. The questioner says, after last week's reading, we left off where the questioner was asking about close encounters. And Ra explained that the close encounter is you having an express encounter with you. Take your hand. A close encounter is finger and thumb. Or that's a close encounter. The hand is having an encounter with itself. So when you look at other beings, whether you call them aliens or extraterrestrials, or whether you call it lion or tiger, or whether you call it a tree, you're having a close encounter with a mirror version of yourself. That's what Ra is saying. Everything is connected. So where we begin is the questioner says, well, take the comma, talking about this type of encounter of self to self, have any wanderers of a positive polarization ever had a so-called close encounter with the Orion or the negatively oriented polarization? I am Ra. This is correct. The questioner says, why does this occur? I am Ra. When it occurs, it is quite rare and occurs either during a Orion entity, due to the Orion entity lack of perception of the depth of positivity to the encountered, or due to the Orion entity's desire to, shall we say, attempt to remove the positivity from this plane of existence. Orion tactics normally are those which choose the simple distortions of mind, which indicate less mental and spiritual complex activity. So it just means that what we labeled Orion is having a free will expression of negative polarity. It's seeking it, and when you seek it out, it finds you, and you're having that self-to-self encounter of negative polarity. Remember, the awareness of Orion to interact in your story. Remember, you're a sovereign being. The only way that these entity beings can interact with you is if you invite them. Back to you, Marcus.
So yeah, it just kind of like trickles off of our last episode where, in the last episode we were talking about, the accountability of what you're consenting into your energy field. And also with that, also kind of dismantling and dissolving the stigmas and the artificial kind of like propaganda of coincidence when it comes to psychic attacks or attracting vampiric, draining like energies into our energy field. And if you guys remember in the last episode, which you guys can watch the replay of on YouTube or Instagram even, we talked about how, there's somewhere within our own energy field, within our own self, that is through natural laws of magnetism and attraction, allowing those energies to be attracted and magnetized through something within us. So when I say within us, I don't just mean within your physical body. So the human being is more than a physical body. So when we're speaking on the whole entire human being, we're saying within us is more so the whole entire aura, the whole entire energy field of you, which is your mental body, your emotional body, your astral body, and your physical body. And then there's other layers as well. So, when we say within us, this is saying that there's some things that vibrationally and energetically is stored within either our mental body, emotional body, physical body, or energy body that is drawing out into the universe or out into the world through your electromagnetic field the same frequency or even the same counterbalance to that energy for it to attract to you. So with that being said, there could be, certain traumas, there could be certain patterns, there could be certain thought forms, there could be certain wounded emotions that could be causing what we call leakages or tears or imbalances within your energy field, which could then leave you susceptible to those kind of energies coming to you. Now, along with that, there's other things that can come into play as well through energy cords, attachments, addiction patterns. Those are also gateways to those type of energies as well. So it's also, when we go through this stuff, not about fear. It's not about good or bad. It's just understanding the universal game that we're in, understanding how these planes of realms work and what the mechanics and operations are of these bodies and what we're doing as human beings here. And it's really fascinating too, because even with all of this being said and how heavy it could seem and how heavy it feels like to some of us, there's also the beautiful infinity of life, where despite all this stuff, and even if you are attracting certain energies and you do have certain energies in your energy field, guess what? We get that beautiful thing called free will. And we're also alchemists in this world. So instead of just knowing that we attracted this energy or this energy is in our field, we can actually do something about that. We can change it. So vibrationally, even if we did attract certain energies, we can acknowledge it, know that it's okay in the end, and that we can make change through our actions, through our mindset, through the way that we use our emotions. And then we can also learn, which is a pretty cool thing here on this plane as well, is that we can go through these experiences and then we can learn how it happened, so that we can either do more of it, or we can say, no, I'm okay with my free will. I learned what I wanted to learn from that, and I no longer want that pattern in my life. And then you let go of it and release. So I also just wanted to give those reminders too, on top of, sharing the heavy knowledge of what is and what we're in. There's also that beautiful feminine energy of being the co-creator and weaving through it all and being able to, shape, mold, and bend with the laws all of these experiences and energies that we're interacting with. So with that too, I also want to kind of give a reminder to everybody that would like to receive it that, despite how much we may hear about these negative polarity beings like draconians and reptilians and all these different beings, gray aliens and all that stuff, keep in mind too that you don't have to hold on to the worst possible scenario about them. You do have a free will choice. You don't have to give in to what, the main populace wants to believe or what they want to say, or the kind of like slight fear tactics that people around you keep putting out about draconians and reptilians and gray aliens. As much as, they could do things that seem super, super evil, which we also can do our own selves as well. So keep that in mind. We can also do the same exact evils, and some of us probably have, and either have admitted to that or could not want to admit to it, but that's okay. But keep in mind though, you don't have to hold on to the thought forms and the emotional charge of feeding the worst possible scenario about these beings. All beings have the opportunity of evolving, transcending. And also on top of that, all beings have a specific purpose and role, divinely designed by the will of God. So there's something to learn about them, and there's a place for everything. And if we can find the harmony within our own self, and then just continue to embody that harmony within ourselves, and continue to work towards the things that we want more of, and just ultimately not focus on that type of propaganda, not focus on the worst scenarios possible, because what's the point? We're here living either way, And we're gonna have these days of life either way. And we're still doing what we're doing either way. We're still sitting here right now on live, freely talking about it on top of, we're talking literally about that right now, live, freely. So, I mean, are we really that suppressed? Are we really that broken down and all this stuff because of draconians? I don't know, man. Like, let's really be present. Like, we're sitting here live right now, freely talking about it right now. Nothing's stopping us. Nothing's doing anything. And we're also sharing powerful, empowering knowledge with you guys. So, like, let's just let go of that stuff and let's just be and enjoy life. And, I saw a beautiful question on Facebook. That question was, how do we handle the wicked on this planet? And my answer to that, I'm going to pull it up so I can read it word for word for you guys. And, what I said was, show them that they are one of us by leading by example through self-work and embodiment, and then welcoming them to spaces to heal and transform if they're willing. If not, then the laws of the divine are always at play while we keep focusing on doing our part and building our communities in the meantime.
Exactly. Perfectly worded. That was the divine channeling through him. The divine, or the as Ra puts it, the one true creator, is seeking itself even through people who are choosing the negative polarity, who are choosing to establish themselves based on putting fear out there, based on controlling, based on all of this. The divine is still seeking itself as that person, or those people, or that group, or that evil person, that rapist or that killer. Not to take the wrongdoing that they did and say, oh, that's all good because the divine was seeking itself. No, like Marcus said, the universal laws are at play. They don't have any bargaining power. What you put out will come back. So we have put in this society that we've had, in this third density, that we've set up the society of the police and the governmental powers that be, or whatever, and how people are playing in it, doesn't mean that a person that does something that the divine feels itself as that person isn't going to get caught and sentenced to 100 years in jail. If that's what the law of cause and effect puts out there, that's what's going to happen. All the laws are saying is we don't need to be guided. We were created to know exactly what to do. There's no gray area. If you put out a negative thing against someone else, if you chose the negative polarity and you put that out there, then it's going to come back in one form or another. But still, we get to look at this person. You don't get to give them a pass, but you get to look at this person as being another version of you as the divine creator. I know that sounds kind of like yucky. What? I got to give this person a pass, but give that individual a pass for being part of the divine. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't have to believe anything. This is just a thought pattern. I'm not going to tell somebody that they want to not have a feeling about a murder or a rapist or a pedophile or, people doing the most heinous crimes. You have feelings, you have emotions, and they take you where you need to go on your path. But the divine is seeking itself in all, not just some. The divine has given us a communication to itself through our higher being and our etheric body called the soul. So you get to go directly to the divine and say, hey, I don't like that. And the divine says, show me what you do like. Show me where you want me to take you. Show me what you want to watch. You don't want to watch, Channel 7? The divine is going to say, okay, no more Channel 7 news. I'm gonna put you're gonna tap on Prime, and you're gonna see all these other great things that you get to watch, and then you're gonna hear some information that would blow your mind. You're gonna go, what? I was just asking about energy. I was just thinking about Tesla. I was just and then all of a sudden you just get blown away, because you get to have a feeling about what you don't like, what you don't want to hear, what you don't want to see, where you don't want to be. And the divine says, show me what that looks like. Show me what your happiness looks like. Show me what your patience looks like. Show me what your unconditional love looks like. And I will mirror that. And then tell me how you feel about it. And if you feel good about what I just gave you, I'm going to give you more. That's the divine. That's all Ra is saying. This is duality, infinite possibilities along all of the polarity energy. How do you know when you got to the loving response that your higher being wanted to tap into? If you haven't tapped into somebody having a little bit of hate, a little bit of animosity towards you, or blah, 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 and then you go, ooh, I don't like that. And the divine says, okay, sit and tell me why you don't like it. Show me why you don't like it. And then show me what you would rather have instead of it. Right? So let's keep going. The questioner says, I have become aware of a very large variation in the contact with individuals. Could you give me general examples of the methods used by the Confederation to awaken and partially awaken wanderers, the wanderers they contact? Wow. This takes me right to the book of the design by Lori Ladd. The wanderers and the were called. Every time Earth consciousness energy lowered in third density, she put a call out. She put a call out when fourth density beings, all those beings that Marcus just named, the Draconians and the Orions and what was the other one? I can't remember.
Yeah, Draconians, reptilians, some gray aliens are typically more on the negative side as well.
Right. But it blew my mind because it answered a question I think in the third chapter. This is before the Earth consciousness decided to have her body created for 3D. Because the 4D beings that came to play, and mind you, they came to play knowing what all the rules were. They knew what was going on in fifth density. They wanted the way they wanted to play was they did not want to take human 5D human light bodies. They wanted to be like the creator and make their own beings in their likeness, without anybody or without any higher beings having to take on a body. When I read about that and they could do this in 4D, they knew how to manipulate energy. They knew how to create with intent and energy. They knew this. And they started doing these things. And they started experimenting. And what they did was they didn't go against your free will. They started investigating. And when the wanderers came, they came when Earth consciousness called and said, I can't shift. Because so many have dived into 4D. 5D allowed for your light body to not be in polarity. You remembered who you were when you were expressing a human incarnation. You remembered that you were connected to the divine. You remembered you had an etheric body. You remembered. You recalled. But when the higher being said, well, we get more activities and adventures when we're in 4D and when we're in 3D, and when they descended more there, Earth consciousness made a call. I can't shift. I can't get to 6D from my 5D. And the divine said, okay, do you want to stop the experiment? And she said, no, I need to shift down so that I can shift back up, because I am part of this story and these beings are part of me. She chose to shift to 3D. She chose to honor free will. And she told the divine that is part of her, and the divine that is part of her and part of the divine, I don't want to stop. Give me a body that will be more accessible in 3D, and then change the body of these humans so they can have a better experience. That's all Ra is saying. And then after doing that, the 4D beings still had more access than they've ever had, because now they still knew how how to manipulate energy. So they could be in 4D and still touch on 3D, and they still could manipulate energy. And they did it till they got to the point where the wanderers had to come back again, because Earth consciousness says I can't shift, and there's too many human beings not being able to express, and they're getting ready to destroy my body, my planet Earth. That was part of the 4 laws of the 4 universal laws that was created. Do not destroy my body. You can't destroy my body. And the divine made the call to all conscious beings to come and be light workers and cleanse in 4D all the beings that were doing the experiments and testing, and clear them out of the etherical realm. They no longer had access, except if you gave it. And anything that was experimented and had more than 51% humanity to it, body wise, they couldn't clear them off Earth because they couldn't stay in the fourth dimensional realm, the fourth consciousness. But it was less than 3%. Blew my mind. So Ross says, when it occurs, it is quite rare and occurs either due to the Orion entity's lack of perception of the depth of positivity to be encountered, or due to the Orion entity's desire to, shall we say, attempt to remove the positivity from the plane of existence. Orion's tactics normally are those which choose the simple distortion of mind that indicates less mental and spiritual complex activity. So they depend on your distortion. They depend on your fear. They can't come in unless you invite them in, whether it's conscious or unconscious. You can believe what you want. It's okay. Because the divine, that says, I seek myself and I see myself in how you react and how you believe and how you create from the energy that you're creating from. Back to you, Marcus. Whoa.
Wow. I feel so seen and heard right now. I was literally just saying that earlier. Like, wow.
Like, yeah, like, wow. It gives you a whole new it gives you a whole new interaction with what we call, I like to call them extraterrestrials, okay?
Yeah.
Or you can call them the other version of me. They're part of, it doesn't matter whether they came from 2 galaxies over, they're part of the divine. So I'm just looking at or if I'm having an encounter, if I've invited an encounter, I'm looking at it and taking and deciding whether, if I look at it in fear, it's because I have fear in me. And if it takes over through that distortion and fear, I get what I get. That's the universe saying, you put it out there, I'm going to get what I get. Blows my mind. Rocks my world. It's a volcano and an earthquake at the same fucking time.
Yep. Yeah, because it's, in order for you to experience something that is going to be of such nature, then, there's going to be beings that are going to fulfill those roles. So with that being said, there are beings that got to fulfill the roles of, satanic-like beings, or, self-empowering, power over everybody else beings, or going to continuously, feed addictive patterns. Like, there's beings for the whole entire spectrum and contrast of life, all the way from the darkest of dark, completely the most evilest thing you could ever think of exist. But then you have all the way up the spectrum of vibration, the most purest, Christ-conscious beings exist. You have ascended masters. And then you have literally like underworld lords. And those underworld lords are more so of just dimensional gatekeepers, so to say. They got to be able to resonate with that dimension for them to then overlook that dimension. So it's not that they're just like these super negative and awful beings. It's that they have a vibrational role that they fulfill in the divine order. And believe it or not, those beings are also part of the law of one as well. The law of one isn't just about the most highest vibrational beings. It's about those that uphold the order and the law of the truth. And that could be from upholding the first dimension, or it could be upholding the third dimension, or it can be upholding the Hall of Records. There's councils in every dimension. We have councils in this third dimension. A lot of us are a part of that council and other councils as well. And some of us are aware of that. Some of us know that we're a part of soul tribes and councils on this planet, and that we have specific, unique blueprints of missions here, why we came here, why some of us chose to come here together from the same exact cluster, and then spread out and then come back together at certain points during this journey. So it's, when we really come into a deeper awareness and understanding of the wholeness of all of that we're in when it comes to this universe, and being able to step out of our own personal egoic perspective and step more into the arena of truth, what is, that is permeating all throughout life, not just based off of an opinion or a temporary experience that we just had. There's things that are in place to make this be and make this happen, and to make it happen in such an infinite and eternal way. And that's what we're all coming back to remembrance of here in these spaces. That's what we're learning about through Ra, is the structures that are upholding everything to be the way it is, so infinitely and so what would the word be? I don't want to use the word perfectly. I'm trying to find a different word, but it's so grounded and steady.
So uniquely structured, right? Can we use that word? It's so uniquely or authentically structured. Whoa.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. Blows my mind.
And to think about, like, all of the life forms in it, not even just human beings. So, like, we think there's a lot of human beings. How about all the life forms that there are, from the mitochondria to the archangels? Like, wow. It's quite fascinating, I'd say.
I certainly say.
But yeah, I just want to leave off with, despite all of this talk, I'm invited to kind of give you guys an opportunity of reflection, if you would like. And, you can grab your journal or whatever you'd like to use, and maybe just kind of take a moment and reflect with yourself on, are there any areas where I may be holding on to divisive mindsets? Or are there any areas where I may be judging a little bit too strongly about something in my life? And maybe I can kind of let go of that judgment a little bit and just allow openness, just allowing something to be what it is, and that maybe the divine has a specific reason for it. And then also just kind of analyzing, is there anywhere where I can maybe start letting go of programming that I've picked up on throughout my life? Programming surrounding reptilians, programming surrounding the global elites, the government. I've been really feeling called these days to really get real with myself about the way that I have chosen divided mindsets and continuously fed my mental energy and emotions to what we call, like, the powers that be, or the elite, or reptilians, and all these different things. And it's feeling really good to let go of all that stuff and just become really more conscious of my words and the way that I'm using them, and recognizing, okay, I'm accountable for the way that I'm viewing this. I'm also accountable for the way that I'm giving my energy to it. And from what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling is that the more that I continue to keep placing all of this power into these families and these beings, these groups, about the weather of the world, or the money in the world, or what we're capable of doing in the world, and all these different things, it just was kind of running dry for me. And I found it as not really a way to add fuel to the positivity and to the liveliness of the things that we can focus on in life. So I just started letting go of that stuff more and continuing to focus on what it is that I'm building and what it is that I would like to embody more and what it is that I can do for others around me. And just really started making that the center of my life instead of, what's going on in the world, or just sitting down and just saying these things about people that we don't know or never even met before, when really, like, we don't even have to talk about it. It's not like it's sitting right there in the same room as us and we have to sit at a negotiation table with these people. Like, we got this space right here and we can do some beautiful things with it. So let's do that. And let's continue to build and co-create.
Yeah, it's I love Ra diving into this at the very beginning of this book, because energy is energy. It's really not, it's really, at the end of the day, because we are designed to, everything was created with intention, right? And energy, that we can make. Energy is just a vibration that is looking for you to give it somewhere to go, something to do, right? And it has expanded and grown as we have, I'll use that word, clustered into groups. And we played follow the leader. And the divine says nothing wrong with playing follow the leader. I am seeking myself as you are learning about yourself. And what I with all the fires that are going on, I kind of, sat and I said, okay, I told the divine, this is how I see it. I see that energy is saying, where do you want me to be, Sandra? I said, well, I want to hold space for everyone who is being displaced with this distortion called fire. Everyone, not the celebrities, not just the celebrities, not the ones who are going to lose the most. Everyone. I don't want to be concerned with how it started. I don't want to find out the vibration of who I should blame, or get into the group that I'm going to talk with that's going to give a vibration towards the story of the government doing some secret work. It might be true, but I'm not giving them my energy. And the divine says, okay, we'll start there. So what do you want to do with that? Well, right now at this point, I don't have the currency to go out and give to the shelters and whatnot, but I want to be ready for that. Okay, we'll do that. It's about what you seek to see within what you're looking at. If you want to talk about all the negativity of the fire and not about the people who are being displaced, not about the people, all the people that have lost everything, holding space and vibrating love, you're a powerful being. What you give to Mother Earth, what you give to the creatures on it, and the beings on it through vibration, is going to grow and expand. So that's what I had to look at. I didn't have time to sit and do the conspiracy theory. I didn't have time to think about the Draconians or the Orions, or who invited them in to play, or who to blame. Do you see what I mean? Because the universe is this. There's no gray area with the universe. You cannot bargain with it. It will do what it needs to do, what you put out, it will give it back to you. Not to someone else, but it'll give it back to you. Right? That's all Ra is saying. And know this about all the divine beings. They know about free will. There's no way they can usurp free will, because that's a law, a universal law. It doesn't matter whether it was started, where it began. It's a universal law that cannot be bargained with. So the draconians, the reptilians, every one of those higher beings knows this law. This law cannot be infiltrated unless you give it, like Marcus says, you're seeping somewhere in your energy because of what you created. You're seeping through fear. You're seeping through ignorance. That's a vibration. You're seeping through. And then they say, oh, knock, knock. And you say, who's there? And they said, you called us. And you open the door and you say, come on in, because that's what I want to believe. Right? And here's the thing with Ra. Ra said that there are many entities that know of the negative polarity. And as they're moving up the consciousnesses to the seventh conscious layer to merge back with the divine, that they have to be in accordance of unconditional love of the one true creator in order to merge back. But if the higher beings are enjoying that polarity ride, they can turn back. Most of them will not go back and do a birth again, because if they take on a physical expression of humanity, those that are wanderers can see them, can see through them. So they prefer to be in consciousness or conscious form, which means they can be your angels, they can be your devil, they can be the fixation of destruction, war, and they can try to dissuade or distort your soul or higher being that's already within you. Because remember, your higher beings get the choice of the positive polarity or negative polarity. Blew my mind that our higher beings get the same free will choice that we do. But guess what? They abide by the same universal laws that we do. So if you want to go to sleep and astral travel and be in those areas where they are, you have opened your aura, your energy to them. You gave them permission. And they said, okay, we'll play. That's all Ra is saying. Everything is free will. Everything is choice. And it all comes back to how you're embodying the energy. Just blows my mind, right? So Ra also said, many such occur in sleep. I just mentioned, astral traveling and astral plane. They can't come into 3D. They can be in 4D outside the 5D quantum field that was built around it for 3D. They can play in that 4D. They can't enter in until you give them permission to come in and play. Free will, baby. So when you're sleeping and you want to go, astral, blah, 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 Better make sure what your consciousness wants to experience while you sleep. Some people are saying, I want to see what 4D is like. I want to see what this planet is like. Do you really? Embody yourself. That's all that Ra is saying, is know what you're asking for before you ask. Because the divine is going to give it exactly to you. So it says, much occurs in sleep, others in the midst of many activities during waking hour. The approach is flexible and does not necessarily include close encounters. They show up in all different matter of distortion. The questioner says, what about the physical examination syndrome? How does that relate to wanderers and confederation and Orion contacts? I am Ra. The subconscious expectation of entities cause the nature and detail of thought form experience that are offered by the confederation thought formed entities. These confederation thought form entities is just the divine, the one true divine creator being itself as this other entity. Blew my mind. Ross says, thus, if a wanderer expects a physical examination, it will pre-force the experience with a little distortion towards alarm or discomfort, as it is allowable in nature of the expectation of the subconscious distortion of the wanderer. So whatever the wanderer wants to feel, and the wanderer opens that energy up, whether you're daydreaming or sleeping or somebody is on any of the internet pages talking about a fear of interacting with aliens, and they're here watching us, and they're going to take us, and they're going to do horrible things and dissect us and blah blah blah. That is you having that distortion that opens that up to that energy that allows them in, because they're attracted to the energy of distortion. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Back to you, Marcus.
Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. That's right. I just want to say this has been a beautiful space today. And I thank you to everybody that's here. Thank you for just receiving and being a vehicle of the one true creator, as we just continue to mirror each other and transmit these information waves. And shout out to Starlight and Lula. And if you guys aren't following Lula Bella in the comments, she's got some very beautiful light language and beautiful encoded art that she shares all over her page, and including galactic light language as well as number sequence activations. So if you guys are into that, check her out on the IG, Lulabella 280. I see you, sister. And welcome Bashish as well over in Canada. Good to see you, brother. I'm actually going to be doing a crystal healing lesson with him after this live. I'll be teaching him about crystal healing, helping him get attuned with the crystal vibes. Wow. So I probably have about maybe 5 or 10 more minutes that I gotta wrap up so I can get ready for that crystal healing lesson. And man, just it's funny, you know, there's words that I want to say, but then the words just don't really equate to the energy of what I'm trying to say. So it's that alone should tell you guys right there how I feel, and just the amount of gratitude, unconditional love, and just really like, you know, true empowerment I feel right now. And I could just wish for nothing but the same for you guys. And when I say true empowerment, I mean that feeling of not only being uplifted and feeling activated, but also feeling grounded and at ease and peaceful emotionally. And I'm very grateful for that. It doesn't happen out of nowhere though, too. You know, there's methods to the madness, as they say. And some of those methods for me are, you know, every rising before I even get out of bed, I'm doing a chakra balance meditation for 10 minutes. And then I just kind of intuitively feel if I'm going to mix in some yoga afterwards. And this is before I even get my day started, before I create anything, before I go take care of my dad, before I get up and do any interactions with people. You know, I do my chakra balance, do some yoga every now and then with it. And with that, you know, it's a recalibration. It's a cleansing, and it's also a solidification of yourself and your human being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So when you do that, and that's how you kick off your day, you're putting yourself in a position to be grounded going into the day, which brings you stability and ease, as well as, you know, comfort and the feeling of abundant connection in your human life. And then along with that, you know, activating your upper chakras, your crown, feeling that universal connection to the source, your higher self. And at the heart, you know, in the middle of that, feeling that balanced connection of the higher and the lower together. And when you focus on that daily and make that a priority to kick off your day, you're then really solidifying the positive traits of your chakras and all of those aspects to be online and be in gear before you take on the world, the lessons, the shadows, and everything else that comes with it. So just a little bit of the methods behind my madness, why I'm able to be so calm and chill and swift and all these different things, but also highly active, creating every day, constantly showing up for others, holding space. And, you know, I do all this stuff on my own, all my content making, all my marketing, all the promoting, my one-on-one services, the retreats that I host. I do all of it on my own. And again, there's methods to the madness. It's not just that I'm just born and I'm capable of doing all of these things. Yeah, there's the potential there. We all have untapped potential, but I tapped into that potential. That's the thing. By doing these practices, by devoting myself to being clear and balanced. And you can tap into an infinite well of energy when you get that cultivated through you. So that's what I got for you guys today. I love you all. Back to you, Sandee, to close out.
I'm closing out. I was sneezing and coughing. Actually, I have to take one more.
Releasing.
And yes, releasing. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. There is no one size that fits all. Seluku ushena taku ole mehi theotai se no ku ana hia no ku padaki ku ate ushena si shaloku untai. You are bumping up against the quantum field of everything that is and everything that is not. When you touch that quantum field, know that you are the creator seeking itself in, through, and as you. What you seek is seeking you. What you ask for says, here I am. If you seek fear, fear will say, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Be the one true divine creator in all the essence of the authentic essence of you. Not just your authentic, your authenticity. Be everything that is and is not. Seek thyself. If you need to judge yourself and then say, what next? Because judging is just taking what you see about yourself and moving you to the next step. What more? If you need to say, why me? Ask a why me. That's an embodying question. Just know who you're asking. Are you asking the divine within you, thyself? Are you diving into that unknown that has been hidden from you, and now you need to be open to it? Energy is seeking you. It's seeking you to say, what next? Every time the pendulum swings, it swings all the way forward and comes back, and it says, are you ready for me? Ask a divine question. Go inward. Don't be, no, I can't tell you not to be scared. Embark on the scared. And then make it known. Then you go from being scared to being just a little uneasy, and from uneasy to kind of going, oh, I got this. And then going, okay, let me do something else. I did that. You go, got that. Right? Let me do something else. Then the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. What's your yellow brick road? Where's your GPS taking you? You're in control of it. Join you next week. Same time. Same Marcus and Sandee channel. I grew up with Batman. Same bat channel. Same bat time.
I love Batman.
One love, wholeness, and balance. That's you.
One love, everybody. If you guys have any questions, reach out. One-on-one services from both of us are available. And also, if you guys are interested in any of my holistic healing retreats that I have coming up in 2025, just reach out, ask questions, and I'll gladly give you any answers that you need to attend and be a part of the community building and healing together. I have multiple retreats in 2025 coming up, and then I also do online events as well. And you guys can always reach out if you would like to be a part of the online Sacred Kingdom community, where we are building with each other 24/7 and continuing to help support each other in vulnerable and authentic, empowering ways. It looks like the closing number is 10845 in the chat. 10845.
Ooh, 10845. Yes. 10845. That is taking the energy connection, allowing you to go with your energy, take it, expand with it. Take what resonates with it. Use it. It's your energy. We sever the connection so that you can go and do what you want to do with it. Go be you. Go be the creator, the one true creator, seeking itself. Seeking itself. Thank you for joining us. See you next Wednesday. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, know thyself.
Know thyself. And Vashi said to you, Sandra, thank you for being the first to impart light language upon me.
Mahtoko ate, sheshuhu uatate. Piono toko ushia nata I shosko a. Amtoka shianate. Patakiana. Shushuva shianoto. Edakiana bua deona. You are worth it. Your soul will know the rest, but the divine says you are worth it. It was my pleasure.
Wholeness and balanced love, everybody.
Peace.
White sage, Lemurian quartz, thousand-eyed jasper, raw rising codes, white flame affirmation. I invoke and surrender my being to the white flame of light. My being is clearing the connection of my spiritual realms with my physical realm. I am anchoring divine white light into my being, bringing divine mercy and grace to the experiences and emotions stored within my being as they begin to dissolve, transform, and renew into rebirthing energies for new beginnings. I am being washed and purified of my past, as well as my shadows and delusions of this existence, restoring the purification of my connection with Divine Source and all that is. I am Ashe.